Yes, 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. In the studio with us now, the leadership team from ICCAP, Indiana County Community Action, as Brandy Fleming, the new executive director, executive assistant Jess Gallagher with us this morning. Our conversation is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. For those who don't know you and haven't seen you, as I can see you right now on Facebook, and haven't heard your voices yet, go ahead, introduce yourselves. Give a wave, too. I'm sure everyone on Facebook likes to see you.
Hello, my name is Brandy Fleming. I'm the executive director at ICCAP, newly appointed, and this is Jess Gallagher.
Hi, I'm Jess Gallagher. Today's my second day as executive assistant at ICCAP, so number 2.
2 big days.
Made it through the first one, and we're back for the second.
Way to go, Jess. Well, it's wonderful because you're joining a wonderful organization, just a great organization that has been at it for, it seems like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
But it's so solid and does such great work here in Indiana County, and it's so needed, Brandy.
It absolutely is. From our Pathway Homeless Shelter to our food bank to the programs for utility assistance, the community is in need, and ICCAP has been here since 1965 trying to serve it as best we can. Different funding sources, but same hat, same things that are plaguing our community since 1965 are still doing so. So yeah. It's our goal to try and eliminate some of those barriers that our people are having.
Those needs just don't go away.
They don't.
Because
they're more prevalent now than ever before.
That's true too, and maybe people don't realize that, and you find that in fundraising especially, is that people think, okay, we did the job this time, we've met our goal, or we've raised this amount of money, and now that's all taken care of. Let's move on. But ICCAP can't just move on, because the mission remains, and the number of people that you have to help actually increases, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Our Pathway Homeless Shelter, we have currently 15 people in our homeless shelter, and we're getting ready to move in another family and another individual as well. 53 individuals were referred to ICCAP for our Pathway Homeless Shelter since April.
Wow.
That's something that a lot of Indiana County residents may not know. But we are still running our shelter services through our individual apartments for safety concerns that we addressed during COVID, and we just continued on with that path. Since July 1st, we've had 535 people on our wait list.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Wow. What is capacity when it comes to Pathway?
Usually 15 to 18, depending on if it's a family. We can fit a few more beds into one room, but generally individuals, it'll be down to 13.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And of course, it's not just showing them a bedroom and saying, here you go. There's much more that goes into it when you're talking about Pathway, because they've done such great work, but the needs are so great. You don't just open a door and say, there you go, and let us know when you're out.
No. Our homeless case managers are working with them for, initially it's the 30-day mark. Sometimes we've had to do a couple extensions with them. It depends on their situation, whether it's they're homeless due to a medical issue, bills piling up they couldn't afford, or if it would be mental health, that they couldn't beat that barrier and they need some services in addition to that, which let them into the homeless eviction program. We work with Armstrong, Indiana Behavioral Health and Development with our mental health coordination with our homeless case managers. And if there's a substance use disorder, we work with Armstrong, Indiana Clarion Drug and Alcohol. So working with partner agencies to try and address all of the issues in a very small time frame to get them stably housed again is pretty tricky.
Yeah. And Jess, I know it's only been 2 days.
Well, I need to clarify. I've been with the agency for 8 years.
I knew that.
This is my second day in this position, so I am no stranger to ICCAP.
I was going to say it's only been 2 days, but you've been with ICCAP long enough that you know that the organizational aspect of it is so very, very important when we're talking about Pathways. Of course, that's one of the programs of ICCAP, but there are others.
There are so many. Another one, a big one for us, is our food bank. And we've been so fortunate to get the new food bank over on Shelley Drive. And it is a great facility, and we are doing so much out of it. In the month of April alone, we gave out 166 boxes of emergency food. We are reaching over 1,600 households a month through our 17 pantries that are located all through Indiana County. And just recently, we started with the Western Pennsylvania Diaper Bank. And there are income guidelines. You can call the food bank for more information, but you can get free diapers and wipes for families that are in need as well.
Uh-huh.
So it's just
another one.
It's just another one. It's just not the homelessness. It is food insecurity. 1 in 8 individuals in Indiana County deal with food insecurity, and that is a large number.
The food distributions have always fascinated me because the coordination that is required for that, the movement of the food from one place to another when you're going to a remote location for a distribution, and the amount of help and volunteerism that you get, it's tremendous, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The amount of hours that Amy and her team over at the food bank put into a single distribution is unreal. And the amount of volunteers that are needed to make one of those successful. And there have been hiccups in the past, but I mean, when you're serving 900 people in 2 hours, it's a lot of work.
It's exhausting work.
It is exhausting, but it is great. I mean, I've been the last couple, and the people are just so thankful. And that really just encourages Amy and her people at this food bank and her volunteers. And it makes you feel good to be able to do that.
I know there are companies that will actually come over and help pack food, and I know the one on the end of the block here, S&T Bank, is really a key, aren't they?
Yes, S&T is always a supporter, especially of our Power Pack program, holding the Slice of Indiana event annually that we've just recently picked up again. Last year was a great success, but they're always willing to help with our food bank, with our Power Pack program that runs out of the food bank, First Commonwealth Bank. We can't say enough. They always do the first Share the Warmth. That's the one. Share the Warmth campaign that helps our shelter usually. So it takes a village, and we're all working together to try and make sure that we serve Indiana the best way possible.
Now, we've talked about food bank. We've talked about Pathway. Give us an idea of the scope of what ICCAP does, because those are two programs that are very, very important programs, but there are other things that you do.
We have our rep paid department, and we have about 200 clients that receive Social Security that we manage. We create a budget with them, and we work with them to make sure that they get their bills paid and they stay stably housed.
We also work with the churches in the surrounding area to work with church crisis to provide utility assistance. We work with all the different human services agencies in the area to provide any kind of assistance that we may not have a funding source for through Project Share. So if there's an instance where we can help with $250 of utility assistance for someone, but they need $300, then we can put out to our Project Share group that this individual is in need of $50 extra. Would you guys, any agency, have any funding to bridge the gap?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we work to strive to get everybody stably housed.
Yeah. So for everybody who is listening this morning and wants to know how they can help ICCAP or become a part of what ICCAP does, I know that there are any number of avenues open to them, but what is the best way for somebody to get involved and to learn about what ICCAP does and how they can help?
So we have our website. It's www.iccap.net. So you can go there and look at our different pages to learn a little bit more about our history, what programs we're offering currently. You can also reach out to Jess at the office. She's in charge of volunteerism, and we can schedule you at the food bank, or if maybe we have something, an opportunity at a fundraiser, we can get you in touch with that. We can also offer employment, which you could absolutely help in that way.
Sure.
If you're communities driven and interested in working in human services, we have a few opportunities out there that you could reach out to us, and we would be happy to help. If you're willing, we can have a spot for you.
Yeah. There's always something to do, isn't there?
We also have a couple fundraisers, small fundraisers coming up that if they're interested, we are having a paint party at our new food bank warehouse tomorrow. A local artist is coming and going to instruct us on how to draw. There'll be a basket raffle and some light appetizers. And then next week on Thursday, we're encouraging everyone to have ice cream for dinner. Come to the Meadows between 4 and 6, and a portion of your Total will go towards the Power Pack program.
I
So
vote ice cream for dinner.
I'm always a fan of ice cream for dinner.
Ice cream for dinner.
Hold the posters up to Facebook, because even if people didn't hear all the information there, they can always go back and they can look. So that's one.
That's one. And all of this information, we have a very active Facebook page. So find us and follow us on social media. All of this information, and we have a few more in the works that we're not quite ready to announce yet, but they are coming. So,
Like you said, we always have a need, so we're going to do our best now that we're in post-pandemic phase. We can get back to our fundraising efforts and big events, small events, anything to get Pathway Homeless Shelter and the Power Pack program specifically.
Lots of opportunities to help, and some are coming too. And that means kids off of school. That means even more need, and maybe a little bit more pressure on ICCAP to help provide for some of those needs.
exactly.
Yes, absolutely. Our food bank helps throughout the year for all the school-age students in the Indiana County. We serve about 912 currently students for weekend meals, and we wonder what's going to happen in the summer months. But we do have a lot of different avenues. Different agencies are picking up summer feeding program dollars that can help, and we're right beside them to help in any way that the food bank can.
Yeah, terrific. Ladies, thanks so much for coming in to talk to us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Brandy Fleming, Jess Gallagher. ICCAP is still working hard after, what'd you say, 65?
Yeah, so 59
1965?
years.
Yeah, I bet you next year's going to be a big year, huh?
It
Big anniversary milestone type of year. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. 9:23 in the morning. Coming up, Boomer Sports in just a second or so. But first, Aaron Real has this morning's Money Matters report.